2021 was a much better year for all of us. But however, it still has its flaws. And what makes this year so much better is the epic trains that I saw over the past year. So I decided to do something that I haven't done before on this channel. And I call this the top 10 trains of 2021. This year I had a much better year of rail fanning. So that's why I'm doing a top 10 list for the first time. We are going to be counting down the top 10 trains of 2021. But I'm only doing CN and CP. Why not GO Transit? Well, GO Transit doesn't have anything rare on it except the F59PHs. And the old cab cars as well. But I feel like I saw a lot of that in the past. So that's why I'm not going to add them on. So let's get into the trains of 2021, starting with number 10. The Wisconsin Central Caboose near Pine Orchard. At the end of June, I was relaxing, but the conductor told me to go to the tracks right away. So I decided to go to the tracks to film the Canada Day special. The reason I'm putting this at number 10 because it has some G4 locomotives leading. Then 318 showed up, going from Winnipeg to Toronto. The train began with typical G4 lash ups. But in the middle of this train was something epic. That's right, that was the Wisconsin Central Caboose. It was rare to see one of them in the middle of a train. It was so rare that the North York Rail Fan went to Doncaster to catch this train. But like I said, I put this on the top 10 because it has some G4 locomotives leading. But overall, it was still another good catch. Number 9. The 6th locomotive lash up at Markham. During the first 13th FU meetup of the year, CN M369 came along and it gave us a surprise. 369 goes from Montreal to Toronto. It had 6 locomotives leading a short mixed train. I put this on the number 9 list because I saw a similar lash up but with older power. But it was still an epic lash up. Number 8. 2707 with a K5 LA Hearn and the 9WL at Zephyr. Last July, the conductor heard a K5 LA Hearn on the ballast stop. And since I was planning on going rail fanning on that day, I decided to go to Zephyr and see what it is. It was CNA 450 going from North Bay to Toronto. It has 2707 with a really epic K5 LA Hearn, and behind that is a C44-9WL locomotive. I will later see 2707 2 more times this year. The second time was at Gomerley GO Station when it was leading another 450 but it didn't blow the horn. And the third time when it was on Q101 pushing at the rear. But I prefer the first time because it had a 9WL behind that, which is more rarer. So overall, this was another great catch of the year. Number 7. The rare Union Pacific locomotive at Riso Road. Last November when Michael and I did the anniversary trip, I was able to get CP118, going from Edmonton, Alberta to Montreal. And on this train was a really rare Union Pacific AC6000CW locomotive. But not to mention that 9633, which is leading, has a really bad sounding K3L horn. And that was epic. I'm just really happy that I finally caught in something rare on the CP train. Hopefully I can get more of these in the future. Number 6. The Forgotten Power Last Shop at Zephyr. Last July, the conductor and I went to Zephyr to do some evening rail fanning. Then CNQ-183 showed up with another surprise. 183 goes from Brampton to Prince Rupert, BC. This train has a lot of rare power, but unfortunately leading it was a GFO. On this train were some Dash 9s, a C44-9WL, an ST75I, and 2 Dash 8 locomotives. I have a feeling that the 2 Dash 8 locomotives are heading to BC to be stirred. Yup, that was a really epic last shop here. But up ahead in the list, there will be a way better last shop here. Number 5. The Herzog train at Mare Albert. He is going really slow. Last April, I saw a light coming down the track, so I decided to stop and see it. Turns out it wasn't a regular train, it was a Herzog train. The train doesn't have an ID, but it was led by 2021, which is a C30-8 standard cab. Unfortunately, 2021 was put into storage. But not only we saw a rail locomotive leading this Herzog train, we also saw it putting down gravel. At least I saw 2021 in the year 2021. But it really sucks that the Dash 8s are now going into storage now. Number 4. The Dash 8 funeral train at Mare Albert. Here we go again with another K5 LLA. Last September, I was able to see a funeral train on CN M303. 303 goes from Toronto to Winnipeg, and it had a lot of Dash 8s right behind EMD power. These Dash 8s are heading to Winnipeg to be stirred, and they will unfortunately be scrapped. And ever since I saw this train last September, I haven't seen any more Dash 8s. So it really sucks to see these Dash 8s go. But not to mention that this was the final 303 I saw before it was rerouted to the Halton sub. It also had some intermodal cars for some reason. But overall, it was still a really epic catch and a really great highlight to this year as well. Number 3. The rare southbound grain train glass shop at Pine Orchard. Last March, the conductor and I went to Pine Orchard to do some rail fanning. But however, we didn't know there was a grain train heading our way, which is CNG 874. That goes from Saskatchewan to Quebec City. And G874 gave us a surprise. It had an SD70M2 reading, 8802, a BC Rail Dash 8 3625, an IC Blue Devil 2457. The engineer also gave us a wave as well. Unfortunately, the BC Rail Dash 8 and the Blue Devil is now in storage. It was another rail dash shop, but we didn't know it was heading our way, so I'm glad it gave us a really great surprise. Number 2. The rare 9WL dash shop at Mahabert. On New Year's Eve, a rail dash shop was coming down the Bala. This train actually had 2 9WLs leading, and in between them was a BC Rail Dash 9. The train was M313 going from Winnipeg to Toronto, and this was my first time seeing a 9WL leading a train. And let's not forget about the DPU on this train. It actually had mechanical problems. Everyone was saying that this was the best glass shop of 2021. And I agree with them, but there's only one train that made the number 1 list. Before we get into the number 1 spot, here are some honorable mentions. Awesome P5. Now, for number one train of 2021 is the Ontario Northlander Test Train. On November 22nd, the Ontario Northlander ran a special test train from Coach Run to Toronto, and I was able to catch it 3 times. The first time was at McCarran Road, the second time at Gomerley GO Station thanks to my dad, and that suffer with the conductor. That was a rare fan event for a lot of people. A lot of rare fans actually caught this train a lot of times. So this is why the test train is the number one spot for this year. But I'm hoping to do one of these again next year. But hopefully more epic things will come along this year as well. I know some people like the North York Rare fan, Trainboy 647, Canadian Trackside fan, the conductor, and Michael Waters are trying to get everything in the book. And all you need to do to get them is some help from the other rare fanners by tracking down the trains. In conclusion, 2021 was better than 2020, but it still has some flaws. I wish you all a really happy 2022. It could be a rough start, but I hope it gets better every day. Well, the video's over, so thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe. I will say the following right now. See you in the next video, and have a wonderful and safe 2022.